Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be going over Lab 3 in CIT 247. Now when you take a look at this page for the lab, you'll notice that there's a third file. In the last two, there's only been two, the instruction guide and then the lab report, which you would submit. But now there's a third file here. This is the GNS files you'll need to do this lab. This contains the GNS file that you'll click on, and then it'll have a pre-configured lab for you. I'll show you here. So in the lab instructions it even tells you this. So due to the large number of devices needed for this lab, the GNS topology has already been created for you. This isn't like the last two labs, because they're really small, but if you look here, you got like 8 computers and 2 switches here. This is a lot of stuff to put together. So we've already done that for you. And you can just download this. It actually tells you how to do this in part 1. So basically, in your VM, so in other words, depending on whether or not you use VMware Horizon, I've got my GNS thing here, and I've already downloaded it and everything, but basically you'll go to Firefox, right inside your VM. You'll need to sign the canvas using your NKU credentials. Go to CIT 247, the course, and then open up the Lab 3 page, and then download the zip folder containing GNS3. Important thing is that you want it to be downloaded to this machine. I would recommend putting it in Home, GNS3, Projects, and then throw it in here. This is where my GNS files are. You can see there's quite a few for testing and creating the lab assignments like I did last semester, or during the summer I mean. But basically you can throw it in here with the rest of your assignments, and then you'll follow the rest of the instructions to like rename the project to be yours, and then you can just press, let me get a GNS, and just press this green triangle and you'll turn everything on. Everything's already, like the GNS stuff is put together for you, or the topology stuff is, but if you look here, let's see. Oh yes, so you want to configure this IP address. So when you turn these on, they won't have an IP address configured, at least they shouldn't anyway. So see, no IP address is configured, so you'll need to do that. You'll need to turn each of these on and configure an IP address on it. And as you're doing that, fill out this table here. The reason we make you do this is because you're going to need this information for later in the lab. So please take each PC, not the switches, but just PC 1, 2, 3, 4, or read 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take all these computers, configure an IP address on them, record that IP address, and do a show command to see the MAC address of each computer. Then the second section, you'll be creating and assigning VLANs. If you combine this section with the command guide, it's pretty telling on what you need to do. This is a really pretty simple section here. So I even demonstrate how to, I show you the information you need. You just use the commands in the command guide for Lab 3 to figure out how to assign these. And then you'll do a show command, you provide a screenshot, and then you'll have a question here. PC1, the PC3, if you do this ping, it's going to fail. So there is an explanation of why this may fail, or why this will fail. If you look at this step here, explain what happens in this ping based on the context of what you see here. So basically, I want you to focus on like the layer 3 network and the VLAN devices in. So for example, on PC1 and PC3, depending on which VLAN you put them in, depending on which VLAN you put these computers in, and the subnet these PCs are in, this may or may not fail, or may not work. And that's true for all the PCs. So the PCs relate to one another based on their layer 3 network and layer 2 network locations. Layer 2 network location is going to be VLAN, or the broadcast domain. So a VLAN splits a broadcast domain in multiple broadcast domains. And if you separate them in that way, two computers are not going to be able to communicate, at least not without a router. And if you put them in different subnets, they also won't be able to communicate. And that's what this section here is trying to teach you. So most of the other questions tell you where to find information, how to answer them. Please make sure you follow the sentence requirements, by the way. And then the final section is about trunking. Basically, it's these two ports here, these two E0/0 ports, you're going to configure for trunking. You'll learn what trunking is in the textbook, the lecture, and and it's lab. And it basically explains what it does. So there is a show command I give you to find this, and then you'll be doing a bunch of ping tests here. So what you do here is you perform the ping test on this PC. So you get on PC1, and then you try to ping the IP address of PC5. So that's what the arrow is for. So basically, for each of these ping tests, you get on the computer that is on the left, and you try to ping the computer that is on the right. You discuss whether, or you say whether it succeeded, and then you explain why. These explanations should be at least 3 sentences. I would like some detail. Basically, what you explain here is why or why not these pings failed. Again, that's going to relate to the which VLANs the PCs are in, as well as which or whether or not they're in the same broadcast domain. That's basically what you're going to be explaining here. So that's basically a lot of what you're doing in this lab, and this is the question where that one table at the very beginning of the lab comes in handy. But that's pretty much it. This is a pretty straightforward lab in my opinion, especially now that the GNS file has been pre-configured for you all, so you don't have to build it yourselves. It should be a decently quick lab. But anyway, if you have any help still, I'm happy to help you. Please don't hesitate to email me or visit me during my office hours. I'll even do specialized by or on-demand sessions with you if you need. Happy to help you all. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.